Did powerful Lucchese crime family captain Paul Vario actually switch families in the 1960s? Let's check it out. I'm James Gladwish and welcome to OC Shorts, bringing you detailed historical snapshots of the American Mafia and other organised crime. Feel free to subscribe if you like that sort of thing. Today, we're going to take a quick look at the claim that Paul Vario actually switched crime families in the 1960s. Mobster Paul Vario was immortalised in the classic mob movie Goodfellas, where he was portrayed as the character Paulie Cicero. Vario has long been associated as being a powerful figure in the Lucchese crime family. However, in 1967, an informant told the FBI that Paul Vario had been with the Bonanno family first, and then, during the Bonanno family civil war, Vario was switched to the Lucchese crime family. As an FBI file states, the informant stated many members of the Bonanno family who had been placed in other groups as himself returned to the Bonanno family. One exception is Paul Vario, who was shifted to the Lucchese family. The informant then states that it was after this move in families that Vario was then favoured by family boss Tommy Lucchese and quickly promoted up the ranks of the Lucchese family. The FBI file states, Lucchese took a liking to Vario and rapidly promoted him to position of capo thereafter. He considered Vario as one of his most respected and trusted men. Informant stated Vario still considers himself as with the Lucchese group, although informant has been told by Jimmy Doyle, capo in the Lucchese family, that Vario is not under present consideration to take over Lucchese's vacant position. The information provided by this informant goes against everything that is known about Paul Vario's career. Most sources indicate that Paul Vario was actually inducted into the Lucchese crime family by the 1950s, and he served in the crew of Brooklyn-based Lucchese captain Salvatore Don Torudro Coriali. Paul Vario would then take over this crew, becoming captain in the early 1960s. So, why did the informant mistakenly believe that Paul Vario had been a member of the Bonanno crime family first, before being switched to the Lucchese crime family? The informant who provided this information to the FBI was a Bonanno crime family mobster by the name of Willie the Tilemaker Dara. Willie Dara was an active informant for the FBI, whose identity as an informant remained unknown to the mob throughout his criminal career. Willie Dara was sponsored into the Bonanno crime family by Mike Sabella, possibly around 1949 or 1950, and Dara would state that his induction did not have any of the traditional attributes that we associate with the Mafia induction ceremony. His FBI file states, there was no candlelight ceremony during this initiation, nor was there mixing of blood, nor oaths given with religious pictures. He states that this ceremony, as described with oaths etc., went out approximately 25 years ago. At the time of the informant's initiation, it was not a prerequisite for the member to have participated in a hit, although this was the case for the older members, prior to 25 years ago. There were other family people present during the initiation banquet, and following the banquet, for the next several weeks, informant was taken around to LCN members and introduced as a new member. This latter situation is that which the informant described during the previous contacts, and states that this is what he construed as formal initiation when he was taken around. As mentioned, Bonanno soldier Willie Dara reported into Mike Sabella, who was close with Lucchese family mobster Paul Vario, and it is perhaps here where Willie Dara became confused about which family Vario was actually in. Dara would state in the following FBI file that he took orders from both Mike Sabella and Paul Vario. The file reads, MMT1 advised in August 1967 that William Joseph Dara, also known as Willie Dara, and Willie the Tilemaker, is a soldato, soldier in the Bonanno family. This informant advised that Dara is considering leaving the Bonanno family to join the Lucchese family. However, he's awaiting orders from his capo, Mike Sabella, regarding this situation. Dara takes orders from Mike Sabella and from Paul Vario. In addition, Willie Dara was a Florida-based member of the Bonanno family, and therefore was perhaps unaware of some of the positions that were held by mobsters in New York, and the families that they were associated with. As I've covered in previous videos, Bonanno family mobster Mike Sabella was one of the individuals who rebelled against family boss Joseph Bonanno, leading to the Bonanno family civil war. Sabella then heard that Bonanno had put out a contract on his life, and Sabella planned to return to the faction of the family that supported Joseph Bonanno. This switch angered Sabella's close friend, Lucchese Captain Paul Vario. The Lucchese and Gambino families had declared that Joseph Bonanno was persona non grata after he had failed to appear before the commission to answer questions about a plot he was allegedly behind to have rival bosses Tommy Lucchese and Carlo Gambino killed. Subsequently, Paul Vario would travel down to Florida to meet with Mike Sabella, and they eventually healed their rift. As one FBI file states, while in Miami, Vario has been in contact with Mike Sabella, Ettore Coco, James Palmieri, and the informant. Informant states that Mike Sabella, who had previously defected from the Bonanno family and had joined Vario, has returned to the Bonanno family after the last series of killings in New York City, especially that of Michael Consolo, described by an informant as one of Sabella's closest associates. As a result of Sabella's recanting, he and Vario had a falling out, but the past series of visits by Vario to Miami has brought them back together. Perhaps the Florida-based Willie Dara again saw the relationship between Mike Sabella and Paul Vario during these Miami trips, and this added to his confusion that Paul Vario was a Bonanno family member. But this is just my speculation. In addition, as I've covered in previous videos, it appears that Paul Vario was the Lucchese crime family's point man with regards to trying to negotiate an end to the Bonanno family civil war. And again, perhaps Willie Dara saw Vario's involvement in the Bonanno conflict, and this led to him misidentifying Vario as a Bonanno family mobster. Ultimately, what Willie Dara's statement about Paul Vario being in the Bonanno family does show is that many mobsters were either kept in the dark or just unaware of which families some made men were affiliated with. Dara's statement also demonstrates that the FBI had to deal with copious pieces of information from informants, and there was of course many errors, and therefore cross-referencing sources is vital when trying to gain an accurate understanding of the history of the mob. In the comments below, let me know your thoughts on the topic covered in this video. I hope you found that interesting. Thanks for watching.